Here we are.
Here we are.
Ruben Garcia. Man, arguably one of my oldest friends since I moved to Flagstaff in first grade.
Mm-hmm.
But then we didn't meet till fifth grade. But man, I think since then, pretty much inseparable at the hip.
Right.
Continuing the family legacy of Lafonda Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, trying my best.
Yeah. What else? High level soccer player as a young man.
Paying for it now, but yes, thank you. At one point in time.
Always into CrossFit or some type of fitness, right? CrossFit, jiu-jitsu, martial arts. Now you're manager at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
2 awesome boys, amazing wife. What am I missing?
No, that's pretty much the cliff notes, man. That's all the high points for sure. And then, I don't know, since we know each other so long, how deep do you want to go, man?
Let's
Where do you start?
well, before we start, because I will forget again. This has been out now, and you've not had a personalized copy. So
Thank you.
we will start with that, and then I think that's actually a decent launching point.
Pretty good.
So I talk about the book, like the podcast. I thought they say have a niche. I'm like, I'm not a niche person. I'm a mile wide and inch deep. I'm into anything and everything interesting. And I realized that by interviewing a number of people, it's kind of just become some leadership lessons, some fascinating stories, some real like raw humanity. And I think that's probably where you and your family come in for me.
Okay.
Because like in the book, I talk about how I was 12, 13 years old, really struggling through a divorce and a number of things going on at home, and then pretty much moved in with you guys.
Yeah. You lived with us.
Yeah.
One of the many that was in that.
Among others. So you mentioned that. So let's dig into that. What about your family is just like take all comers?
I don't know, because that's how it's always been. Maybe it's because, we've all grown up in hospitality, and that's what it means to be hospitable to others, is bring them into your home, show them your family, your life, your way of life. And then we try to do that at Lafonda as well. So I just don't know the answer to that, except that's just the way we've always been. We see somebody that needs help or somebody's fun to have around. That's right. There's plenty of food on the table. All right. We ran out of beds, but yeah, there's some extra room on the floor over there. Here's a pillow. Here's some blankets, right? But yeah, come on over.
It's on the floors.
Part of the family. You're part of the family. Come on over and hang out. And it's not only the family in Flagstaff that's like that. It's my extended family throughout. I guess we could talk about that. Yes, because we've been friends so long, like all of our friends that are watching your podcast, they're gonna know exactly who I am. But I'm sure there's a few people there, or quite a few people that don't know anything about that. So maybe I could start there about Lafonda.
Yeah, start with that.
And then we could just go like different epochs or whatever timeline pops in our head as we go. Yeah.
I love it.
Sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Lafonda, my grandfather opened that place in 1956. Okay. So we're third generation running it now. And something that always pops in my mind is successful businesses usually die in the third generation. I think it has something to do with that third generation has it easy. They don't know about the struggle. They didn't have to build it. They've been living high on the hog, so to speak, and so they don't appreciate it. So they let a lot of things slide, and a lot of places, a lot of business end up closing in that third generation. So that's always in mine and my cousins' minds that are helping keep my family's legacy going. And we try to work even harder than I saw my uncles work, my mom work, my grandfather work.
Good luck beating that.
I know it's a lofty goal to say the least, but it's a good one to try to keep in mind, right? Like even if I fall short, I could still say that I'm working hard to keep it going. the story of Lafonda is my grandfather and his two brothers married three sisters, right? So that's why the family in northern Arizona, there's so many of us. It's three brothers, three sisters, and a ton of kids, and then a ton of grandkids, and a ton of great grandkids after that. Lafonda was run by Sylvester Garcia, grandpa, and then Frank Garcia did the Kachina restaurants here in town. And then my uncle Albert, he was the youngest of the three brothers. He opened up a restaurant called Alberto's, and well, his son Phil opened up Alberto's in Mesa, and now they have La Casita down in Sierra Vista. And all three of those brothers and the sisters have passed now, unfortunately, except for my Auntie Kika, who is the Frank's wife from the Kachina family. She's still here in town, still doing well. So I think going back to your original question, man, if you just think about that kind of big family love and hospitality and the fact that the restaurants is what provided for the family, that just kind of enveloped everything we do. Right. And that's why we're so welcoming and open door to whomever needed it or whomever asked for it. And we still do that today. Okay. So what else about Lafonda? We're like the cornerstone of the community here in Flagstaff, partially because we've been around so long, partially because we don't do any advertising and marketing at all. What we invest our advertising money is the community, right? Not even routinely, often people will call us, family member just died. He's been eating at your restaurant since the 60s. Can we have some enchilada sauce? We're gonna do enchilada sale. Sure. You want sauce? We got you. You want cheese? You want tortillas? What do you need? We got you. No charge. Go make some money to help pay for that funeral. Right. If any of the schools call, they need sponsorship money for the sports. We're on it. Yep. Put our banner up in the auditorium. You got it. Right. Always investing in the community, always investing in the reservation with the natives. Right. They're a huge part of our client base. And I remember that was a strong lesson Grandpa used to teach me is, a lot of people tend to be a little bit dismissive of the natives here in town. And we don't. We consider them our people. Like, to come eat at Lafonda, we're going to take care of you. So if there's a traveling basketball team or Tuba City or Gray Hills needs some money for whatever, come to Lafonda. We'll take care of you.
Community.
Well, and I think that's so much better than spending money on radio ads or TV commercials. Or whatever it is, like, because it goes back to that hospitality. Like, we want you to feel like family. Come and participate in what we're trying to build here. And so that's pretty much sums up what we do at Lafonda.
Yeah. I mean,
And we got great food.
other than great food. And then everybody who's been here for a while, especially through high school or college age, I can't meet somebody that didn't work at Lafonda or doesn't know someone that worked at Lafonda.
Or has some crazy Lafonda story.
Oh man, yeah. I'm sure a lot of the what was our joke? Most of the pregnancies we knew about were it was because of Lafonda.
The passionate. Hey, Grandpa used to call it the passionate. Hey man, you work hard, hey, play hard.
And I like to see it as you fostered love.
Love's in the air.
I love it. So what really stands out for me as an impactful young man was just the way, the whole family. I'm the random white boy showing up, the Wedo, blood in, blood out.
Yeah, Vatos Locos.
Vatos Locos, and just welcomed in immediately, given a job as a dishwasher, and then, like you said, welcome to the family. And then I was one of many who, we had some of your cousins who were staying with us at the same time, becoming young men together.
Oh man, we had, how big was that house? It was 2 stories, but it was only 4 bedroom, and it had 2 bathrooms, but one of those bathrooms were grandma and grandpa's. So nobody went in grandma and grandpa's bathrooms. Right? Everybody else had to share the other one. And there was, grandma, grandpa, my mom, Juan, you, me, Jake, Keith. At the time, Mary was living with us too. Steph and Brandon came and stayed with us too. Hey, you're talking 11 people. 10, 11 people living in the house. And, there was no room to get away from anybody. And so I think that's why the love grew, like, technically I'm a only child, you could say, right? But I had cousins and big family my whole life, right? So there's no getting away from that. We had to negotiate, fight, love, all those things, and it was great. And for you coming in, Mike, like, hello, I don't know, it's just one of those things that happened not just so long ago, but it was just so natural that I just never saw you as anything else other than family. So when I was reading your book, you were talking about when we met with the bike, and I remember having that bike, and like I was the cool kid, and everybody wanted that bike. And then when we met, you had the bike too, and it was a shared interest and all that. But I mean, I don't know, like I don't know why we didn't fight. Like my bike's cooler than your bike. They're the exact same bike, but no, it's just like, man, I know I like this guy's style. Yeah, I like this kid's style, right? And then
One of a kind bike is now two of a kind.
two of a kind. And then our good friend Alex Gracu, I remember I was playing soccer, you were playing soccer. We weren't playing soccer together, but Alex was kind of the guy that played with both of us,
Yeah.
right? And then I remember being at your house on King Street and then finding out that you played soccer. And then it was just like another thing we can hang out and do together,
Yeah.
right? And it just grew from there on that.
And then, yeah, I think I was playing for the Gold Jammers. I think, did you never played for Gold Jammers?
I didn't play gold, yeah.
So I think then we created Select, right? And then
Yeah, Select I
we
wanted out.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think it was off to the races, huh? Well, and then at some point in that, and timelines are so jumbled in my brain, but it was almost like not a conscious decision, but I knew instinctively that I needed to be around more stability, which is crazy to say. I love you guys, Garcias, but stability. It was always chaos, but it was great. Like it was very loving chaos.
Yeah.
And,
So even to today, like it drives Mariah crazy. Like she needs quiet house, right? Like if the boys get up and we're getting ready for school, like she just needs a quiet, boys get ready. Me, I'm used to waking up to grandpa banging pots, everybody screaming, yelling, kind of like the Home Alone scene, right? But it's just wild, everybody's running around. Like that was the house growing up. So even now, if I get up first, I'm putting on the TV. I'm putting on the radio. It don't matter if I'm listening or watching anything. I just need the sound.
The noise.
I need the noise so I can settle in. And then I think my two boys have taken after me on that because they're just wild. But they need the sound too, man. And if there's no sound in the background, they're the ones screaming and yelling. They're running around like crazy. So I think, yeah, man, like that's peaceful to me. And maybe it's the restaurant too, right? The restaurants are never quiet.
No.
I'm pretty sure that's why I'm losing my hearing now, though. Like I'm getting pretty good at reading lips. I can't hear it. There's plates banging in the background all the time, man. All the time.
People yelling. Yeah.
Or us shooting our rifles when we were kids because we never wore ear protection back then, man. We just go out to the woods and just start firing off rounds for no dang reason.
Right.
You got pretty good. I'm still not good.
I got good with a rifle. But my pistol work is no good.
Right.
But I sold all my guns.
Yeah, I know, babe. Fell off.
I fell off the boat.
Hell on the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
Just know that. They gone.
They're gone. That was years ago.
Sad day.
What's that?
Sad day.
Sad day. Got into art instead.
You did got some nice art here, by the way. I really like how you've decorated your house. I don't know why I haven't been more often other than I live all the way on the other side of dang town.
Well, it's because you chased me out to Donny Park and then we left.
I did you that. Does everybody know that story? Should we tell that story?
Tell them
That's way recent.
Yeah.
We'll circle back around there. Yeah. So we grew up one street away from each other, right? I was on Walker Street, you were on King Street, right? Or was it two? King, Wayman, Walker.
Yeah.
Right. So all in Upper Greenlaw, right? That's Upper Greenlaw there, right? We all went to Whitesville School. And so when Mariah, my wife, and I moved back to Flagstaff, you were living out in Donny Park, right? And so we're looking for a place to buy. And our real estate agent, we're looking at a bunch of them. Real estate in Flagstaff isn't the easiest thing to do. And we couldn't find anything nice. And then one day our real estate agent goes, I have a house. She pulled the move, like they all do, right? little outside of your budget, right? But you're gonna love it. And okay, take us. And so we're driving and we're going towards your house. And I'm like, looking at Mariah, I'm like, did you tell her where Mike lives? And she goes, no, I didn't tell her. I was like, cool. And then we turned down Slayton off of Neptune. Yeah, I used to live right there. And just one road up, they had a nice house, like a beautiful house. And I was like, my boys are going to grow up with Magnus, like right there. Perfect. But you already had the dealings in the works, man, with these promotions and everything you had going on with the fire department. And so we buy it, not telling you. And then I was like, hey, you want to see the new house? And you're like, sure. I was like, come on over. Thinking he was going to be like, oh my God, we're neighbors. Right. And then it was.
It was
But I think it was about a week later. You're like, you're like, dude, I got to tell you something.
short-lived. Yeah, that haunts me. Because I mean, well, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, because as fun as it would be, I don't know if we'd ever be productive. How many times have you or me called in sick for work because of video games or the show 24?
Oh, that was my birthday. Which birthday was that? That was it was in the 20s.
Yeah, 25
We watched a whole season of 24
in 24.
in 24 hours with lasagna, chocolate cake, and beer. Gluttony. Gluttony. To the extreme.
Gluttony is right. Is that when we had the party too?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Had a themed Rockstar party. Yeah.
Because, what was the video game with the
Rockstar. Was it Rockstar?
Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero.
That was big back then.
Yeah.
And I can't play guitar, but oh boy,
You could play that.
expert level. Like Vince Vaughn on Couples Retreat.
Not me. I was never good. But I feel like a lot of those games, that's how it was. I would watch you and Jake or Keith play.
Mm-hmm.
What was that old silent something? Old late 90s scary.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. What was that? We had no business playing that
No
game.
way.
It took over the whole summer. It was like a horror movie.
Yeah.
I do not remember what that was
You
called.
guys would be up all night and I'd be watching you scared to death.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even watch scary movies anymore.
And yet we had scary movies that we'd rent from Video City.
Yeah.
Remember we'd
Video
always try to
City.
watch the stupidest ones.
Well, we had that. That's what we tried. That was the goal. It's who could find the most obscure, like
God-awful movie.
god awful movie on the shelves.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yeah, there were a few in there.
Black shampoo.
Black
Some of these guys got to know some of these movies. In. So where were we at?
I don't know.
I don't know either. We're talking about when we were kids, the bikes when we met. Then, like, okay, elementary school. How much do you remember from Whitesville?
Some.
I was wondering if like you writing this book would help like trigger a lot of this.
It triggered a lot of memories. That was something that was really interesting to me. Was there would be times where, you know, I'm trying to kind of find answers for myself on my own journey and lessons learned, and I'd have a little spark or thought, and I just couldn't stop typing about that one lesson or that one moment. But then there would also be all these other things that flooded back, and yeah, I just remember like the small group, not necessarily small, but you know, we had the Brothers of Voice,
The Brothers of Voice.
and
Oh man, Tate, Harry, John Agar. We won that talent show.
we won that talent show.
We had some nice turquoise suits. I think we were like
Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. I was trying to think of that. It's a movie at that time, but Boys to Men. Still the Night. We sang the Still the Night on that talent show. Killed it. You went on to get in choir in high school, so you continued the tradition.
I did. I kept singing, but now I'm tone deaf, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, we talked about it. Maybe it's an age thing.
I like to think that.
Just deaf all around.
I like to lean into that thought rather than I just can never sing.
You could see. I have the pictures to prove it. 6th grade talent show.
The pictures to prove it. That's the key word. You don't have the audio. You know what?
Like, Lord.
What came up? I got hired. I was a year on a flag fire, and I thought I was hot shit. And we had a whole nother group that that graduated behind us, and one of the graduates was Chris Romero.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Chris.
And so we held their graduation party for being new firefighters at the Romero's house. And Dan Romero pulled out that tape.
Did he really?
Yeah. So, I don't know, 50 people got to see me in 6th grade in a teal tuxedo.
All your firemen
And
colleagues, dude.
Yeah.
He's a
So-
so, man.
Here we are supposed to be roasting the new guys, the new guys. I'm the one who is getting the roasting.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Dad eats at the restaurant often. I'm gonna have to ask him for
I
that
bet
tape.
he still has it. He's going to hold it over our heads.
Yeah, I'm not trying to roast you or I just genuinely interested in watching it again.
It was
In my mind, we were great.
in the moment. Sometimes you have moments, right, where it's just like, yeah, life is, we reached our peak. That was one of those moments.
Well, it did help at that time that we had an advantage with the talent show because remember my Aunt Jenny had that formal wear shop upstairs so that we looked the best. We had the shiny shoes, we had the cummerbunds.
Oh, yeah.
Cummerbunds were a big deal back then, right? And the turquoise suit, man. So we looked the part for sure. We already had it in the bag before we even took the mic in our hands.
Right. By look alone.
Look alone. He had it. So elementary school, man. What else I remember about elementary school? Funny story. So my boys are doing karate now, right, at Maximum Martial Arts. And I was walking to the restroom. I was running late, as always. I drop them off, and I was like, get on the mat, man. I'll go to the restroom. And I hear, Ruben. And I turn and look. Do you remember in 6th grade, that guy Carlos?
Yeah.
That, like, knocked me out in the playground. Like, the only time in my life I ever been knocked out and dropped me. And then Tony Rojas had to, like, defend my honor. Right? Like, picked a fight with him and scared him off.
Yeah.
It was him. He has his daughter in there, right? And we all look old and out of shape now. But he's like, hey, man, how's it good? You know, shake his hand and tells me about his daughter and everything. And then we go back and I sit next to Mariah and I go, hey, you want to meet the only person that ever knocked me out? And she goes, where? And I was like, that guy down there. And she goes, that checks. And I'm like, what?
No question.
No question. I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the wife. But I remember that, of course. And then 6th grade was probably a great year, man, because of Mr. Rooker. Yeah, just how good we all got along back then. The whole crew, except for, John Hagar. He was the trouble child back then, trying to get us all in trouble. But in a fun way for us. Not so much fun for him, but fun for us.
Yeah, and then I love seeing his success, though.
Oh, he's so good now.
Yeah, because he was always such an incredible mind. And
Oh, he's
incredible
super smart.
intelligence. Yeah, so,
Mm-hmm.
but at the time, he was using it for
He's
Dr. Even.
Yeah, he's the first person I ever saw write a computer virus in a computer lab. They're playing the Oregon Trail, and this guy pulls a flashlight, the floppy disk out of his bag, dude. It's like, what are you doing there,
I
man?
never heard that.
You don't remember that? Oh, dude, he zonked out the whole computer lab. Like, you put a floppy disk in that thing and Control Alt Delete or whatever that thing did. It wonk. I was like, what is going on?
And Oregon Trail of all things. That was
It was either Oregon Trail or Number Crunchers because I was killing it in both those games. And
I was never good in number crunchers. And I think I died of, I don't know, dysentery or something in Oregon Trail.
dysentery got all of us, man. All of us. These kids don't understand. They don't. They don't know the
I don't know
struggle.
the struggle of dysentery.
They're video games now. What is this? 100 lives.
Right? You just respawn.
Dysentery got you on Oregon Trail. Dude, you're starting from the
Start
beginning.
over.
Right. That could be hours invested in that.
Back your wagon again.
Art like. So dumb. All right, let's pass forward. I know she's gonna cut so look at this here.
No. We clap if we need to
Cut.
reset.
I just want you to remember, Mike, that you asked me to do this.
When you're off and reading and watching this thing.
We'll get to something that's worthwhile for people.
We got some good golden nuggets here.
I think at the end we're gonna realize that it's really about community,
Right.
you know, and recognizing people around you and just trying to help them do right, do better.
So speaking of running into people that we grew up with, to talk into that point is I ran into Coach Greco. So his daughter Brianne's doing the karate at mixed martial arts as well, and Cade with me, my son, and he goes, "Dad, who is that guy?" And I was like, "That is your dad's other dad." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "One day, son, like when you're old enough for me to have that talk with you." Because Coach Greco was the guy that disciplined us, man. He developed our skill in soccer. He equaled our passion with his desire to coach that we had to play as a young kid. And then now when I'm older and I see all the like struggles I deal with trying to raise kids and work and support the family, and then I see how he invested his time with us. You know, he had a family, he had 3 boys himself, plus our whole 15, 16 members of our team, and how he was able to ignite that passion in all of us.
Working multiple jobs.
Multiple jobs. He's a stock guy,
Here from Romania, not knowing English.
not knowing English.
I mean, incredible story in his own right, and then instilled the passion and the purpose, I think, in a number of young men.
Yeah.
I attribute a lot of my own journey to not go this way when I could have gone this way, you know, and gone down a really bad path. And of course, we all explored some of those paths, but I feel like a number of us stayed on a much better path due to quality coaching and Coach Greco.
Coach Greco
Yeah.
and Coach Iverson.
Yeah.
Mostly Coach Greco, but
That was the passion.
yeah.
I love their dichotomy because I think about it now as a coach, you know, now I'm coaching jiu-jitsu and soccer and trying to complement the strengths of the other coach. You know, so if you have a hardcore coach that's like in your face, and God bless him, but Coach Greco he was very passionate and a lot of times yelling, not mad at you, but yelling.
He was loud.
Sometimes failing, mad at you. But then you had this very calm and calculated person on the other side who would show up way early to scout our opponents for us and give us a strategy. And, you know, and I think about that often now that I'm the shoes on the other foot and I'm going, okay, what made us
So good.
so good? Not only good in soccer, but then to hopefully inspire those the kids. Reality is, in my mind, most kids are not going to end up being pro athletes.
Right.
But can we give them something? Can we give them tools for life?
Right.
And those guys gave us tools for life.
That's well said. Because especially in those impressionable years, you want to give them the tools, right? And that's when you're most susceptible to taking the good and the bad. And like we use those skills now, like you're saying, we help us make the right decisions, help us to push up against something when it's hard to not give up, right? The teamwork that we have, that's all from the select, man. I mean, I guess we should tell your guests like how good we were. Like, yeah, we were teenagers, but there's something special about being on a top quality team when you're dominating and winning everything and everybody just comes together like a team. And even now to this day, when we come across guys, I hadn't seen them in decades, man. And they'll come into the restaurant. It's like we're 16 again.
Yeah.
You know, it's just buds, right? Just buds. And we all have those shared memories together. But okay, so let's think. So how long was the select together? 4 years? It's about 4 years?
Probably.
About 4 years. And how many games did we lose in 4 years?
I don't know how many. I know we had an alternating rivalry with somebody.
That was the Flagstaff team here, right? Is that what you're talking about? The other
Generally, we outperformed them,
right? But they're the ones that
but they
ended us. Like
they ended us.
after they beat us in state that year is when the team all broke up.
Yeah.
Right, because we just came into dang hockey, right? Yeah, for
Which
sure.
was another lesson.
Yeah, for sure. We should have won that dang game.
I want to say it was an Arsenal team or a Shamrock team or something that we split wins with, always in a final.
Oh, you mean like the Valley team? Yeah, for sure. It was Invasion, Shamrock Invasion. right? That was, and then there was that Santan team too,
Yes, there was a Santa.
right? And us, we were like the top teams in the state at that age group.
I'm glad you said that because I hope people watch that. It's hard because I'm so much now that I'm a coach. People, parents, everybody's like, yeah, we want to be competitive, but we know we're just from Flagstaff, and we know that the pool of players is so much greater in Phoenix and all. And I'm like, it can happen.
It can happen.
With the right coaching and the right gelling of the team. It can happen because it has. And I wish there was social media back then so we could actually prove it.
Well,
Or records, because right now it's just hearsay.
well, Cade is he'll be out there with Agnes here in the next couple of years. He's still a little young, but I'll be there advocating with you. Like part of that coaching was like what Coach Everson and Greco did. What they realized was they took advantage of the altitude training. Like when we're kids, I had no idea what that meant. But yeah, Phoenix had better talent pool. They had year round games and training. We only had seasons because of the snow and everything. We'd go inside, but it's not the same as playing outdoor soccer. But our cardio was through the dang roof. We'd run circles around teams. And so a lot of times we'd be down and then they just tire out and then we just take it to them, man.
Yeah, we had comeback story like every tournament.
Everything.
And I try to tell even our kids, because the last tournament we were in, we moved up to 9v9, which is a whole different scenario than when we started.
Yeah, you would
Now they have like 4v4, 7v7, 9v9, 11v11. And we just moved up and the boys did well. They took second, but the team that they played in the final was so refined. Like they had incredible passing for 9-year-olds. They worked the ball out of the back. It wasn't boom ball. And our kids were running around like crazy, trying to chase the ball, and it was, we made adjustments in the second half, made a good comeback, but ended up losing. And what I was trying to instill in them was that sometimes, and it's so hard to say unless you live it, but sometimes the grit, if you're in shape and you have the grit and you're willing to work, if you can outwork them, it doesn't matter if they outskill you. And then I look at the parallels in my own life because a lot of the things I've accomplished are not because I'm more talented than anybody. It's because I'm willing to put in the work.
That's true. Like the older I get and the more I meet successful people at all levels of success, I always come to the same conclusion, man. It's not that these individuals, and I'm happy for success for anybody, but not that these individuals are any smarter than anybody else, right? And most of the time what it is they have that grit. They believe in themselves. They take the step and they do it. They don't let that self-doubt take them out of the game, right? They're just willing to put in the work, right? And then what happens after you take that initial step? I mean, that's going to vary on your level of suffering you're willing to give yourself to chase the success. But
So true.
But yeah, they just get out there and they do it, right? And I think for a long time there, and when you're younger and you're growing up and trying to decide what you want to do with your career path, you're always thinking, oh, I don't know if I can do that. I'm not that smart. I didn't have those opportunities this person had. I didn't have the trust fund. I didn't have this, that, whatever. They have a head start on me. It's like, yeah, maybe they got training all year long. Maybe they got Olympic development program, right? What do you got? Right? Hustle.
Got a garage door that I can kick that ball against all day long.
All day long until grandma started yelling at us. She's watching her novellas. She's not banging on the wall, man. Get my reps in. It's so true.
I think there's a lot of clarity that's coming now, though, and also I'm going down all kinds of rabbit holes in my head, but the struggles that I think were not artificial for us. They were, we did deal with true adversity sometimes, and wanting to develop character in our own kids, because I think a lot of times the character is shown through the struggle,
Right.
but then you don't want your kid to struggle. So I always have this, like, how do I create artificial struggle from Agnes?
Right. Yeah. Dude, I get that. You don't want to raise spoiled kids.
Yeah, because that's the third generation mentality, right? Now the restaurant fails.
So I think about this all the time too, when it comes to parenting. Like just this morning, like we're in mass and the kids are being loud and not paying attention to the priest. And I'm like, give him the look, you know, like grandma used to give me, right? Well, when grandma gave that look, I'd straighten up. Yeah, Kate's just like, what? Levi's like, I'm gonna cut you with my lightsaber. And like,
He didn't say that, did he?
they had Jedi night at the karate place last night. So Star Wars is in his mind. He threatened me in church. In church. And so I was just like, okay, how do I go about this? Because then I think about like our childhood, and yeah, we had these big group of people living in these houses. You were with us. Where were the parents? Like I think about that. Like where was the parental supervision when we were kids? It was pretty much non-existent, right? Because they were working, right? They're in the restaurant. They're working, right? And so they're never around, and they just trust the older cousins are watching after us. And sometimes they did, but sometimes they didn't, right? We just had free reign to do whatever the heck we wanted. A lot of times I'll talk to other cousins, and I'm like, dude, you remember when? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, where the heck were the parents? Because now I think about it, and I'm like, no way my kids are going to get away with that stuff.
Yeah, I hover over him on everything. I don't want to be a helicopter parent, but I know what I did.
But then I think, like, is that harming them?
I know.
Is that harming them?
Such a balance that I think is just hard to find.
Yeah. Magnus is just going to have to be the older cousin for my boys, man. He's going to have to, like,
Don't put that pressure on me. Because that means I have to instill good values in him. I hope I do.
dude, he's such a good kid. He is. He had nothing wrong. You did a great job. You got a good example to follow. And I guess that's the key. Like, just be the example. Because that blows my mind. And it's funny we're having this talk now because a lot of people listening or that know us are like, oh, yeah, I learned that lesson 20 years ago, whatever. We started late having kids, right? But it blows my mind the kind of stuff that sticks in their head. Like, I'll look him in the eye, try to teach him a lesson, and it's like in one ear, out the other. I'm like, he didn't retain any of that. And then a month later, he'll like verbatim repeat it back to me. Right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh man, he got it. He did get that.
Did stick.
Okay. So I need more of that. And then 9 times out of 10, they don't stick. Like, you don't know which one is. Right. So you just got to like lead by example and hope one of them does. Right. And I think, Mike, all the great things you're doing, man, like Magnus sees that and he's already like entrepreneurial by nature. Right. He's already driven by nature.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he wants to do. He's very interesting to me. Yeah. I mean, he's talking about starting a podcast. He wants to write a book.
He wants to make money like Elon Musk. Maybe?
He wants to shame Elon Musk with the money he makes.
It's a shame. That's a competitive drive there.
Yes, but that he gets that more from Mama.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about that lately too, because I keep saying, no, I'm not the competitive one. Magnus and Kristen are, and I really think in my household I am the least competitive. But reflecting back, I think I was competitive growing up too.
Dude, you retired.
Oh, what?
You're retired. Is this retirement?
Oh no.
Right.
No.
You're competitive. Like you couldn't just sit on the couch and do nothing.
No,
you couldn't just go golf every day, drinking beers and do nothing. Like, no, man, that's that drive in you. You're like, I got all this time. What am I going to do? I'm going to write a great book. I'll start doing podcasts. I'm going to make connections with all these amazing people, right? And you really are impacting people's lives. Like I told you about Dr. Tim the other day.
Yeah.
Right? Blew my mind that, you know, he is a mutual friend of ours. And he said he came across somebody in another state that he had followed online. And he saw him. And his first thought was, what would Mike do? And he's like, Mike would go meet this guy.
It's too humbling. But
and he did. Cool. And then that's what he told me. He was so excited that he got the nerve. And if it wasn't for you doing what you're doing in retirement, you would have done it. He would have done it, man. He would have sat there and ate his Burger King burger. I don't know where he was. Like,
yeah, he said something like fast food at a conference or something.
I just let the opportunity walk the door.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I don't know. I'm in this weird spot because I think people see me like I'm standing on a mountain now, and I'm not making $1. In fact, I'm bleeding money.
Yeah.
But I believe in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And a big piece of that is recognizing how much others have done for me. And then as much as I love one-on-one sharing whatever lessons I learned, if they can take one nugget, then great. But one to many, is kind of the current mentality of, you know, if I can share it, because so many people are struggling. And if a story from you or from another guest inspires people to, whether it's get the courage to branch out and do something different or search for fulfillment in their own way. I mean, that's my drive. And that's fulfilling to me, is I'm inspired by so many other people around me that I want to share the inspiration. And
Yeah, dude. It's all about the impact, right? It's the impact we leave for the good or the bad. But you're doing good things.
trying to lean into the good.
Yeah, keep your aim going, man. When you follow passion, like, rarely does a passion pay dividends right away. Stick with it. Stick with the grind that we've been talking about, and it'll pay off in the end. If not for you, for the other people that are around you, right? And
Yeah.
and for Mangus, and for my boys, and for all these good things, man. I think you're doing great. It's been good. It's been fun. It's been entertaining watching you.
It's weird. It's leaning into the social media side and all that, but I know it's necessary at this day and age. But there's also, man, like, there's self-doubt.
Oh, there's
Like the
yeah.
event, the speaking event, I thought it was going to be sold out, and it wasn't even close, you know. And then there's self-doubt with that. Then there's the book sales aren't up, and I'm like, well, there's self-doubt. But then I have to go back to the originating thought, which was, okay, I'm going to put this out there because if it inspires one person, then it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's happened. So
Yeah.
quit bitching.
Yeah.
And same with this week. I heard that behind the scenes, some people are talking trash about me trying to do better for myself and others. And it's like, okay, well, I know how tight my circle is. So those
Haters
people
gonna hate, man.
yeah.
Haters gonna hate. We're always gonna support you. And here's the thing: is like, maybe the auditorium wasn't full. It was a lot of people there, though. There were a lot. It was a lot of people there.
Great.
There was a lot, and you killed it. And you killed it in front of a lot of people that that I've seen people speak. They go see speeches, right? They've been to an auditorium full of people before, right? And you were up there giving like a TED talk, as calm and natural as could be. Maybe not on the inside, but you were working the stage, and it was so good. And not one person I talked to after that left that and was like, "Oh, that was rough. Oh, you did it." Right? So if you impacted that many people, the smaller amount in that auditorium, instead of having a big full place where 2 or 3 people remember what you said, right?
Yeah.
You did great. It was good.
Thank you.
And haters gonna hate, man.
Yeah. And I'm very accepting of that now. But in the moment,
Yeah.
it's this weird thought in my head, you know, like I really am trying to do good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to highlight the good.
Mm-hmm.
And then something like that comes up, and I'm like, man, if I highlighted the bad, I'd probably make a lot more money, and I could burn this place to the ground because I know where every body is buried. Yeah. And there's always this internal struggle, you know, from our decisions we made as children to even this last week.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to burn it down or do I want to lift it up? And I keep trying to lift it up. And I think that's the harder route to take.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's
I could easily burn it down.
Yeah, that's the proper route, man. That's the whole black wolf, white wolf, man.
It is.
The line between good and evil, right? Social distance. So it's true. It's real. It's a human struggle, right? You keep focus on the good. You know, I guess we tie that into Lafonda too, you know, because we've been around so long, like people love us or they hate us, right? But I know for a fact, there's a lot of big chains that don't come to this town because they don't want to compete with what we do there at Lafonda, right? And instead of like when we donate to these families, or you know, it's coming from a good place. It's like we're not doing it to receive anything back.
Yes.
Right? You do it because you're able to, right? It'd be different if we were struggling, and I get a lot of these smaller places or a lot of the newer restaurants, they are, right? So they can't be as generous as we are. Maybe they would have a big heart like us to do that. I'm sure they would. They're into hospitality, most likely. That's why you get into hospitality, because you care about people, right? But we can, and we do, and we don't do it to like shame anybody or show up anybody, right? And then the fruit just bears from that.
Yeah, and you're not you're doing it in a very organic way.
Right.
I mean, unless you hear it from somebody who was there, nobody even knows that you were donating to that funeral or whatever.
We're not putting it on the Daily Sun
Yeah,
page or anything.
yeah, you're not trying to get accolades from it. I love the behind the scenes work because it does show that it's truly from the heart. You guys are trying to do right by people.
And you're doing the same. Just
Except
doing
now
right
it's
by
out.
people. Yeah, but you got to provide it because you haven't been in business since the big 60s, right? Right.
It's true.
We're lucky enough where people are coming to us. Right. You gotta go show your good work out there into the public. And it's always harder in your hometown too. It's always harder in your hometown because people know you. They know everything about you.
That's why that speech was hard. You know, we used to say in the fire service that you're an expert outside of your area code.
That's so true. Yeah.
You know, it's easy to go and be like, I'm an expert in this or whatever. But the people who knew you as a 22-year-old playboy that was out drinking in the bars and trying to pick up on girls and doing stupid crap, like, yeah, that was me too.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm not that, or I know I'm not that. I hope others see the growth.
Yeah.
But, you know, like sometimes people just remember you for that snapshot in life. And I think that's another reason why I want to highlight so many, you know, not yourself as much, but some of the other guests they've been in the trenches, man. Like,
Yeah.
they've had hard moments in their lives. And then to highlight how, okay, maybe if somebody was to just look at that snapshot of life, you would write them off. But if you look at where they are today, they're not that person anymore.
Gotta extend that olive branch, man. You know, give them an opportunity. Yeah. What we should probably talk about something like that, right? About like entrepreneurship or what I've done to be where I'm at now, I guess.
Yeah.
We're just here just chit chatting.
Well, let me dovetail off that because I struggle with you.
Okay, go for it.
Shoot. Thank you.
Not supposed to.
Yeah, how dare you? No. It was actually a checkpoint for me.
Okay. I'm doing a really good job at not moving my hands around though, because normally I'm this guy.
You can.
Oh, I should have told you. Hand talking is good.
Oh, okay.
The more you talk to your hands, the better.
So how can I sitting on them? Like, I don't know what the heck did you be saying.
No, you good.
Okay. Okay, good to know.
Quick. Are we doing all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
But I think you definitely need to dive into the entrepreneurship.
Yeah, we need to switch gears and.
Okay. We could do that. Entrepreneurship.
Hold on.
Yeah, so
What does it mean?
I struggle with you a little bit because honestly, on one side, I admire your family commitment in your grandfather's legacy. And I see what you're doing and I have so much respect for that. And on this other hand, I go, man, what's your education? You're trained double masters?
No, I have my undergrad in business management, and then I have a master's in industrial organizational psychology.
So psychology and business.
Business.
And I mean, you're helping run a business and a family legacy business, which is something to really be proud of. But at the same time, I'm like, man, Ruben, I care about you. And I know that family business, and it's not 9 to 5. It's not, oh, I have a Saturday off and I can count on that. Somebody calls in sick, you show up. And it's not, I show up and I write a report and I go home. You're grinding in the kitchen till 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, there's so much capacity here and entrepreneurial ventures, like ideas that you have that you're not pursuing. And then the daily grind for this legacy, which is very important. But I struggle. I'm just saying I struggle.
Okay. Okay, so when I was younger in our 20s. I think when I think back about it, what I tend to do growing up is I've always been very ambitious. Just always been ambitious, and I've always liked to do things others aren't willing to do, or I don't want to go along with the crowd. Right? I always wanted to be different, but not in a bad way. I wanted to stand out in good ways, right? So like I remember I had a guy I was talking to one time, and I don't really call him a mentor, but I mean, he taught me a lot about finance, business finance back in the day. And he always said, Ruben, do what others won't do today so you can live like others can't tomorrow. Right. And that always stuck in my head when I was younger. When I was like, okay, I'm going to do everything I can to be successful so I could have it easy later on. Even no, knowing the restaurant grind, because it is a grind. Like yesterday was Valentine's Day, right? And worked a 10, 11-hour shift on my feet all dang day, sat down for maybe 15 minutes during that time, and we were rocking and rolling. Like we said earlier, love was in the air, man. It was a good day, right? But usually today's a Sunday. I come on Sundays, I'm just sitting on the couch, just trying to recover, getting ready for the week, right? Because I'm just worn out. Um, so being that ambitious young when I was, let's see, 25. So I was just out of NAU. So 24, 25, somewhere there. Um, I had I had an idea because at that point they were building the Cardinal Stadium, the new Cardinal Stadium in Glendale, Peoria. And I was like, I'm gonna open up a restaurant right there, right by the Cardinal Stadium, a Lafonda restaurant, and I'm gonna have it all set up and rocking and rolling. By the time the stadium opens, we'll be good to go. And I went, met an architect out there in the valley, got plans drawn, met with the city, got the zoning, everything was good to go. I take these plans to Marty, who is the owner of Lafonda now after my grandfather passed away. And I said, Amen, this is what I want. And here's my plans, this big, beautiful building. I already got builders lined up. I already got a loan secured. How the heck banks were giving me these big old loans in my 20s? I have no idea. Yeah, no, they were just, it was loose on the landing, man, or I'm really good at bullshitting. Probably both, but I had it all lined up. And then Brandon and I, my cousin Brandon and I, who helps me run the restaurant now, we wanted to take one more trip before we got into it. And so we had another cousin that's living out in New York and in Brooklyn. And we go fly out to New York and had the time of our life. Spent so much time on Manhattan. We walked that whole island with our backpacks, stopped at all these amazing restaurants, had cheesecake on the corner of cafes. And my cousin was managing a place called Macalaire's there in Manhattan. And so we just had food, free drinks a whole week we were there, right? Just lived it up. And then we coming back into the Arizona, and I get off the plane, and we're in the airport, and Marty calls, and he's like, I have a restaurant for you guys. And I'm thinking, sweet, where am I going? Where in the valley? Where are we going? And he goes, Mayor, Arizona. And I'm like, where? And he's like, Mayor, Arizona, it's by Prescott. And I'm like, cool, all right, I'll go check it out. And so we take a drive out there, dude. If you've never been, Mayor is tiny. Yeah. It's just a place you pass by on the way to Phoenix from Prescott, right? But it was an opportunity. And it was a Harley Davidson dealership, and they had a restaurant that was a bar and grill, and it was tied into the dealership just across a parking lot, and they were having troubles running the restaurant side, so they needed help. So Marty used to ride bikes with the owner's son, and so he came to us because we knew what we're doing with restaurants. So I go in there, and at that time, I think, like I said, I was about 24, somewhere in there, and Brandon's coming. Marty goes, take Brandon with you. You guys need to learn this together. Cool. So we get there and we change everything, right? Meet with the staff, had a staff meeting. Like, I don't think they ever had a staff meeting in their life. Like, that's how poorly ran it was for a restaurant. Like, they didn't understand like motivation, staff meeting. They didn't understand like per person averages or upselling or how to make money in a restaurant or even cleanliness. Like, the place was run down, man. So we get in there, fix it all up, get going. And then I get an opportunity to move into Prescott. Now Prescott is kind of like the urban center of that I think they call it the Tri-City area. None of them are really cities, but they're bigger towns, right? Yeah. Bigger towns. But there's 3 of them there, and Prescott's kind of the hub of that. And so we had an opportunity to move into there to a place that used to be called El Chaparral. So El Chaparral was like the La Fonda of Prescott, right? Been there since forever. But third generation, son took it over, ran it into the ground, and closed down. So I go check this place out, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy this place. Like, I'm gonna sell Mayor, and I'm gonna move in here, and I'm gonna buy this building, and I'm gonna run this restaurant in Prescott. This is my goal. And so then gave him an offer. I'm thinking everything's good. I get a phone call from some rando guy, and he goes, "Hey, do you still want this to run a restaurant in this building?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. I actually got a bid in to buy the place." And he goes, "Actually, I bought it, but I'm looking somebody to run a restaurant in it." And I'm like, "Who the heck are you?" And it was this guy out of Phoenix who just had a ton of money, and he came in cash offer and swooped up the real estate from underneath me, right?
Okay.
But I was so dang invested in wanting a restaurant there in Prescott. I said, "Okay, I got you. Let's do it. Let's put this place in there." So we opened up Lafonda, and we had to remodel the whole building. Plans drawn, freaking grinding, digging sewer pipe trenches, like got after it. And then we opened the restaurant there in Prescott, and we were very successful, man. We ran that place for about, well, let's think, probably about 5 years.
It's about 5 years.
About 5 years, and we were killing it in Prescott, even rivaling the sales of Flagstaff, Arizona, like as far as the LaFondas go. And I had a great staff, man, great group of people that would break their backs for me, right, and do anything I asked them to do. And we'd have the best company parties, and like took care of each other. Like, it was such a fun working environment. That's actually where I met my wife, where I am, was there at the Prescott restaurant. And when the recession hit in 08, 09, so Prescott is retirement community, 100% retirement community. And so when there was no money in these 401ks and IRAs, I'd have a full restaurant, but people are ordering one item in water, right? They're not ordering big plates, right? And I can't make a profit. And so I talked to the landlord. I go, "Look, man, you've seen what we've been doing here. You've seen how successful we've been here. Give me a break. Give me a break till we get through this recession." And he wouldn't do it.
It's gonna bounce back.
And I told him, I go, "Dude, like, we never had a contract. Like, I tried to get you to sign my contract. You said we do things by the shake of a hand." And I go, "You've been good to me. I've been good to you. Let's work this out." And he's like, "Nope, rent's due next month. Plus, remember that time I loaned you money to fix this sewer line underneath the building? I want to tack that on top too." Right. So then he started playing hardball about things like that. And I'm like, "Dude, okay, whatever." And so I was thinking about it, and I was like, "You know what? I don't need this stress in my life, dude. Like, I'm not working for somebody else," which is another thing that I have. Like, I want to work for myself, and I want to be able to provide for people. I don't like having to answer to anybody, right? That's part of that ambitious drive that I have.
Yeah.
And so I go, "All right, man, I'm out." So I call up family, I call up friends. We close down on a Saturday night. We bring in 4 big U-Haul vans. We load up the entire damn restaurant. We even took the ceiling fans off the roof. We took the the switches off the wall, man. All the furniture, all the equipment, everything.
But you put it all in there.
It was mine. I bought it all, right? All this man did was buy the land and the building from underneath me, and I had to furnish and put all the equipment and everything. So if he didn't want to work with me, I was willing to stay there. He didn't want to. I was like, "Okay, I'm taking it back." And we did. We loaded up the trucks, and we came back to Flagstaff, right? And then we got back to the restaurant here. That was wild. That was a fun memory. Do all that. And he called me up the next day, and he's like, "Hey, man, where'd you go?" I go, "Well, I told you. Like, I told you what was going to happen if you didn't help me out. Like, I've been good to you. I thought you were going to be good to me. I thought we could work it out, but we can't. So we need to go our separate ways."
Yeah.
And then now my old chef called me, and they floored that place. So now it's just a parking lot.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're going to build a Wendy's at my old restaurant, man. Wow. It's so wild.
Wow.
So all that from the time I was 21, 22 till 25, 26 was so much business, so much learning. Like, I felt like I had a doctorate in it. Like, I had an MBA at least by the time I got through that. But then also, there's no reason why an early 20-year-old should be trying to open up a multi-million-dollar restaurant, right? And like, I should have been focusing on other things in life, I feel like, right? But I was all about the business. Okay, so then I get back here, and Lafonda and Flagstaff is doing well, like it always does, humming along. But there's definitely improvements that need to be done, right? And so I step in, and we've gotten it tightened up really good. We have a great team. It's all, the management team's all family, right? And we do so good at communicating and working together because we've seen other restaurants, including in our family, that the family fights and now the restaurant's like dissolved and broken up. So we know that warning and we know that we don't want to go down that road because we have to keep Grandpa's legacy going because everything Grandpa Silver has done for us through Lafonda, right? At least I could do is keep this place going so we could keep providing for the family and providing for the community. Right? That's where my mind's in and all that. So when it comes to like my education and my ambitions and all that thing, I would never do anything that would leave Lafonda behind. Like it's always going to be Lafonda priority, right? And I just need to get smarter about the way that I work Lafonda. But I feel like I could still do other things. It's number one right now is just family, like taking care of my family.
Yeah.
Right. And this is as long as we keep taking care of business the way we've been doing, the Lafonda is still growing after, 56, what is that? Almost 70 years, right? We're still growing. And every week guaranteed, but dang near every shift, people come up and they go, why don't you open a second location? Why don't you expand this place out? And I say, you ever run a restaurant? do you even know what you're asking me right now? But seriously, like it's good. And it takes a lot of work to maintain a successful business. And I feel like people, especially in the current business environment, everything's about more affluence, grow, big. And those are all good things. But until you hit the point where you've grown too much and you're no longer taking care of the fundamentals.
Yeah, you get rid of the core values and what made you successful in the first place.
Yeah, why were you doing this? So like going back to my 20s when I was opening up the restaurants and doing really well, had a ton of money. I was happy. I had Harley Davidsons, right? I had some sweet bikes.
Yeah.
I had nice vehicles. I had my own house there in Prescott Valley, like a ton of money, no worries. But what was I working for, right? Like just to have that stuff. And so like when things got hard, it was much easier for me to like check back, right? And be like, why am I working so hard? Right? I got all this stuff. What else do I need? But it's not about the stuff, man. It's like the reason why. So like I had forgotten about the legacy and the family tradition in Prescott. And maybe that has to do with me being really young too. And like now that I'm older and I've matured more, like that's always in the front of my mind. Like when I got back to Flagstaff, I remember having to go in the morning and cook, right? Like the first week I got back, there was one of the managers there in Flagstaff at that time. She's like, I'm getting married this week and everybody's going to Vegas. You're here to work it. First week I was back and I was like, cool. All right. I'll see you guys later. And they all took off. So then I was there. And so I go in the morning and I cook. And then I'm like making the chilies in the morning. And I'm thinking, I have two thoughts in my head. My first thought was, I'm doing the same thing now that I was doing at 16. Like, dang it. Like I've fallen back. I've taken steps back. Right. And then I don't know if it was the Lord talking to me. It was my grandparents' voice in my head, but it was, no, you get to do the same work your grandfather did. There's pride in that. There's goodness in that, and do it the best you can. And so even now, if I have a rough shift or somebody calls out, you got to go in and take care of it. If I got to go clean toilets, if I got to wash dishes, if I got to go clean some puke off the parking lot, some kid got sick, whatever it is, it's like, yeah, I'll do that because my grandpa did it and my uncle did it, right? My cousins do it. My uncles do it, right? My grandma did it. Like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Right. And if I could transfer that to my boys, it's not going to matter what they end up doing in life, as long as they approach it with that mentality. Right.
Yeah. There's a humility to it. And I think it's powerful to recognize people who could be high in life or appear to be that, or that's beneath me, right? Yeah. Cleaning the floors is beneath me. Or man, the guy who could take that day off and let somebody else clean the floors is saying, no, it's my responsibility. I care about this. I'm going to do it. I think there's just something powerful to that too.
And then there's
leadership in that.
Oh man, there's leadership in the restaurants, man. Like a lot of people have worked restaurant business, so they're gonna understand what I'm saying. But everything I learned in business school, other jobs I've taken, I took a government job for a while. I went and worked at New York Life for a while, and like went to the corporate boardrooms in these big corporate places and met like the higher ups, and people sold art for a while. So I met a lot of very affluent people selling art.
Forgot
Right?
about that.
I'll never forget, dude. One time we had this like this like 6 foot bronze sculpture, and the dang thing. So this was back in the early 2000s, right? And this thing was selling for 30 grand a pop, right? And this guy comes up and he has like torn up pants and like a frayed shirt. And he's like, "How much is that thing?" I was like, "Oh, 15 for this one, 30 for this one." And he goes, "Ah, peanuts." And he gave me his credit card. It's the first time I saw a black credit card, right? And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, I want 2 of those." I was like, "You got it. I'm working off commission. It's like fantastic." So I give it to the person running the credit cards, and I look to the guy and I go, "What do you do for a living, sir?" And he goes, "I sell drugs." And I go, "You sell drugs?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I have a pharmaceutical company." I'm like, "Okay, that checks." But then later that night, we're all at Ruth Chris Steakhouse having dinner together, right? So I got a chance to like see that lifestyle at a young age, and I never felt the desire to chase that, right? Like I'd been, I guess for whatever reason, maybe it was just working at the restaurants, or, you know, my grandparents, or Marty or my mom or whomever was like, what really matters in life? Like, there's matter like things, right? Or there's like matter like meaning. Right. So now, yeah, I have the higher education and I have this ambition and I got pretty dang good business knowledge and I got great relationships with banks and other financial institutions. Like if I could secure loans like that at 20, I'm sure I could get them now in my 40s, man. No big deal. I'm a lot safer bet now than I was back then. But it's like, for what end? Like what really matters? Like what matters to me now is continuing the legacy and teaching lessons to my boys that they could take in whatever endeavors they want to go to. And then just one more quick note, like, and in the restaurant too, like using my degree in psychology and using my degree in business management, like I get to use that every single day there. Like, especially with the younger kids, because high school kids now, dude, this new generation, oh my Lord, dude. Like it's hard to get through to these people. But when you do, and I could motivate them to do good in their job. And I can see they're starting to get that appreciation for doing things that are hard, and they're making money now, and they come up with, they're telling me, "Oh, I want to get a new pickup truck." And I'm like, "Okay, you got to save up some money. You need to pick up some shifts, right? Get some shifts, do your work hard. You make more tips, you make more money." And then they go and they buy something nice for themselves, right? And it's like, yeah, I got to do that when I was that age. But I always had the nicest cars because I was always working.
Yeah,
Right. Right. But it wasn't like the parents bought it for us. Like we worked all the time, so we had the money to spend. But once I bought it, it was mine. Nobody could take it from me. Right. So maybe that's where that came from too, that ambition. But I get to see that in them. And then I get to see people that work like college age, in the 4 years of college they work for us, and then off they go to whatever career they have. And then they come back around. "Thank you guys so much. The lessons you taught me helps me in my career." And we got like legal professionals, we have, doctors, we have just business owners, We're like all facets of career.
There's a lot of people you guys have touched over the years.
Yeah. And they come back and they're thankful, genuinely thankful, right? So that's the magic of Lafonda. That's what's so special about that place. And that's why we work like we do to keep that place going, man. Right? So I guess that's why I don't want to go do anything else.
That's a good enough explanation for me.
Did I nail?
No, I mean,
Long-winded answer.
and no, it's great to put that in perspective because the kid, like I said, it was just a little bit of a struggle. And it's not even like, oh, and I can see so much more in you that you could do, which I do, but it ultimately for me, it's what brings fulfillment. And that's something I've been pondering a lot about lately is, and one person said it really well with, it's happiness is internal, but fulfillment is when you can give it away and see the happiness in others. And that brings that fulfilling lifestyle. And I think you just described that very, very well. Like willing to you to give to the community and see the progress that people make that worked for you, or inspire your own boys, or right. So that's a great answer for me. I'm good with it.
One thing, one thing that drives me crazy is when people talk about happiness and they're like, if you do what makes you happy, you'll never work a day in your life, or, I just want to follow my passions, and like that's all important. It's good to enjoy what you do, but I mean, if all you're doing is chasing happiness, just like a good feeling, like
You probably never get it.
never get it. It's so superficial. It's so secular. Like you grow in the struggle. You grow when something's pushing back against you, right? And that's true all the way down to a biological level. Like how do we make our muscles grow? Right? We push up against force. It pushes back on us.
Yeah.
Right? How do we get good at martial arts? Right? You got to get in the struggle.
You're the nail for a long
Oh,
time.
hell, been the nail for like 10 years at jiu-jitsu. Get any easier. My God, show up to you is the thing. But that's where you grow. And it shouldn't be any different with your career path or with your even a job. You don't even have to get the career, but like the lessons you learn in a job. If it's easy, if it's making you happy every day you're there, right? Like it's not good. Maybe you're making money, maybe it's everything's good, but it's not good for you, especially when you're young. Like you gotta learn that struggle, because heaven forbid you think that life's gonna be that easy, everything you get, because then when something hard hits you, boom,
You don't know how to.
you don't know how to process, so you just shut down. And I feel like a lot of that has happened with this younger generation. They've been coddled so much. They've just been given everything so much. And that's what I think about with my boys. That I can't give them everything. Like my boys are still little, so of course I still give them everything. But when they get older, like they're gonna be working at the restaurant, right? They're gonna miss parties with their friends. They're gonna miss special engagements they want to go to because they got to get their butt into work, right? The same way I did, right?
Same way you still do.
Yeah, right. But that's where the growth happens, man.
It's true.
That's where the growth happens, and it's important to have a place, more places like Lafonda that could provide that kind of struggle. I think that would help a lot of the problems, man, that are out there now. Yeah, Lafonda, love it.
Well, we love you guys. I do. I mean, it was a very big fork in the road for me, and I'm eternally grateful. So you guys already know all that. I don't need to cry today. But is there anything else you'd like to share or highlight?
About
A nugget of wisdom.
some more wisdom. More wisdom?
More
Oh
wisdom.
my goodness.
No, I mean we're good. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, I mean, there's always things to learn out there. I think.
What about let me ask you a distinct question. So I've had the pleasure of working with a number of NAU students recently, and I've actually been really impressed. But I think in a way the professors are hooking me up with the best students, so that's been great. But a lot of them are struggling in the age of AI, in the age of unknown workforces, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any insight or advice on how you would help somebody find their path or get out into the real world?
Okay, talking back to that whole like not doing the easy thing, right? But how do I find my path in that? Well, I think if whatever direction you're going in, if like you do what's unreasonable, right? Like what's unreasonable, like it's reasonable to take this path and make this decision because it's easy. But if I did this would just be crazy. It could make my situation so much better, but it'd be a crazy idea to do that. That's unreasonable. Do the unreasonable thing, right? Because when you're young, you don't know where your life's going to end up. You might have an idea of what you want, but it's all about doing what's above and beyond what you think you're capable of and moving in that direction. And life is going to happen to you when you're going that way, right? Life happens to you. You don't create it. And then as you're moving towards it, you shoot for the dang stars, man. You see where you end up. Like it would have been nice if I had 10 restaurants at this age. You know what I mean? But that didn't happen for me. But I've never been happier in my life now, right? Because I had those lofty goals and I was just laser focused on moving towards that, right? And I think that's key. And like, there's another saying we say in hospitality, and it's like, you know, what's the difference between customer service and hospitality? It's like customer service is black and white. It's ticket times, putting the order in right, pivotal seating, right? That's customer service. Hospitality is the color. It's the flair. It's connection you make with people. It's them asking for your table because they're your regulars, right?
Mhm.
It's a little extra that you could do for them. It's gonna make a memorable experience. That's hospitality. That's what you go for,
Mhm.
right? The color. But you gotta have the customer service dialed in, right? You gotta have the I's dotted and the T's crossed, man. But bring some color to your life, man. And shoot for that unreasonable outcome. And see what happens. See what happens. I think in this age of like instant gratification in AI and freaking responses and answers like this as soon as I could do it, like they think that's how life unfolds. No 24-year-old, I'm not gonna say no, but damn near all 24-year-olds don't have millions of dollars on yachts and all these. Like, no, that's not the way life unfolds. Like, if they do, chances are it's a lie.
Or it's been given to us.
Yes, that's not the way life works. Life is in the struggle. And then it goes back to what we said earlier, man. It's like, if you want to be given all that stuff, you don't understand what it took to get that stuff. So you're never going to appreciate those things.
Yes.
Right? And it's so easy to lose without the appreciation of those, the struggle to get to that point. But to get that through to the youngins, man, it's much better for them to see an example than to be told something. Right? They got to see it play out.
Agreed. I think you can inspire though a little bit through your own lived experience, and then hope that I don't wish struggle, but recognizing that's where the growth happens. So, hoping to inspire a thought to go down a certain path, to then learn those lessons, and hopefully, it's not not all rose colored.
Right.
Life is not worn with rose colored glasses.
Yeah.
But if you can learn those lessons, then you can feel that humanity. You can feel that fulfillment in life, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think the words do inspire. It's the action that needs to happen.
Right. And don't get in your own way. Don't fall in the holes, man.
Yeah.
Right? Don't fall in the pits. Like, that's where it comes down to the fundamentals things. Like, I saw some the other day, or I read some the other day that really kind of hit home. It's like all people really need to do, the younger people coming up to be successful, is pretty simple. Like, graduate high school, get married young, get a decent job, hard pay, like a good trade school job. You do basic things like that, you're going to live a good life. Right? But the problem is, like, other things look more attractive. And then when you chase these other things, like, that's when you fall in the holes, man. And then you got to climb your way out before you get back on track again. I think that's another important thing to let the kids know. Life's really not that difficult if you choose to live it smart.
Or simple.
Simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
My old man, his saying of keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Wear it everywhere.
Yeah, kiss, man. Just keep it simple, stupid, man. Like, don't get out of your own way. Right? And enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, man.
Yeah.
Life is great.
That's it.
I'm not unique to this, but every downturn in my life or dark parts of my life were just self-caused, like unnecessary, right? You got to get out of your own way, man. Just keep it simple and enjoy life. Look for the good in people. Look for the good in things. Especially now, like, people just like to fight and argue over
Nonsense.
nonsense, man. It's like,
Stuff we can't control.
right. That's the better way of putting it. Because I don't want to say nonsense or that it's dumb or stupid, because it really means something to them, right? They're passionate about it. I get it. But that's the perfect way of saying it. If you can't control it, why are you worried about it?
Yeah.
What can you control? It's a whole stoicism way of looking at life. Like, I can't control what they're doing to us, but I control how I react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think, like, throwing gasoline on that fire is really be the smartest thing.
Probably not gonna help.
No, let's burn it up, man.
I mean, it goes back to me saying this week I was ready to burn it down for a moment.
Well, you stick with those impulses, man.
Well, that's why jujitsu. Even in your 40s, stick with something that keeps you grounded.
Oh, jiu-jitsu's great. I mean, we should talk about that a little bit too if we have time, because you're good and I'm not. So we can get two perspectives.
If I'm good, then that's sad.
Here's the thing about guys that aren't good at jiu-jitsu. Anybody better than them is like amazing, right? But there's levels, because then you see somebody that's like amazing and you're like, how does somebody go about that?
And then you see that amazing person get beat by somebody. It's
Levels to it, man. And, that's one thing I wish we got into when we were young.
me too.
Yeah, but it just wasn't on the scene back then.
I don't think I told you. So I know we do have to wrap up here soon, but in 1999 is when I went to basic training.
Yeah.
And you know, my dad was always a martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
And before he even got into Kung Fu, he was in Aikido. And I always thought that was silly. You know?
Steven Seagal, baby.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was silly. But he was into that. And I was at basic training. I'm writing letters. And I recently went through the letters that he wrote back to me. And I found one that said, I'm getting into jujitsu, the Gracie kind. And I was like, in 1990, there was a small group of people that were doing jujitsu in 1999 here in town. And I didn't start until 07, which by that time, you know, it's been like exponential growth in the country.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was such a weird reflection to be like, oh man, my old man was getting into that way back when. I think right before he moved to Phoenix.
Thanks. He's such an amazing dude.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a martial artist, too. That's wild. He would have been a pioneer in it.
Right?
Yeah.
If he stuck with it, but he kind of fell into Kung Fu, and that was a whole nother level of discipline and things that I've never gotten into.
Yep.
But very grounded, very centered, I think.
With Kung Fu?
Yeah.
Never done it. All I remember is Kempo karate when we were kids, and then Christina beating the heck out of us.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? Because we'd spar, but we weren't allowed to hit the girls. And so we just threw really good defense. And she would wail on us. She'd kick the snot out of us. And that's all we could do was block and duck and dive.
Did I ever tell you, man, we're going down rabbit holes, but did I tell you when I was courting Kristen and I took her to the boxing gym? And I was,
Yeah, because she threw that corkscrew punch at you. I do remember that story, yeah.
lefty. And I was like, I'll just go ahead and I'll block. You just get it all out. You go ahead and punch. And you know, I thought I could see him come in. I could block here. I could block. She threw that weird left hook that came into a cross corkscrew and it hit me every time. And just like, and I think she really liked it. I think she had a great time.
And that's when she knew.
And that's what she knew. I could beat the snot out of this guy as much as I want.
And you
It's-
could say, yep, I'm it, Brett. He's the one.
All right. I think we can end it on that.
Very good.
Or maybe cut that out. I don't know. Either way.
Professional society. Thank you, brother. That was great. Thanks for having me.